into another dynamic joint podcast. I am yours truly, your favorite physical therapist, Dr. Tyre.
And I am the awesome Angie, aka Dr. Angie, the occupational therapist as well as physical therapist.
And we are the owners of Dynamic Duo PT, an outpatient physical and occupational therapy clinic in West Palm Beach, Florida. I'm always going to say that, by
Yeah,
the way.
it's okay. I mean,
Because
we need the people to come in.
We need y'all to come in and support because we need to keep these lights on. So
Right.
thank you for coming in.
Well,
and we can help, and we can, no, for those that are in West Palm, thank you for coming in.
Yes.
And for those that are in the surrounding states of the United States of America, thank you for tuning in.
Right.
So today's topic is PT and OT school.
Right. So grad school and
general.
How much fun did we have?
I would say I had fun.
Right.
Because I met like really good people.
Yes. I.e. meet people. That's who she means.
However, I had a very interesting journey, I would say.
Well, tell us about it.
So, University of St. Augustine, where we met, for those who just tuning in, let me just bring you up to speed. We met at the University of St. Augustine, where she was bullied me into being her best friend, and here we are, business partners now. We're not even.
I just want to let them know. You can't just say your side.
They don't need to know.
The hush
They don't need. They don't need to know.
It's not true.
Okay. It's not true. So my journey, my story. University of St. Augustine had what's called a flex program, and I don't know if they still have. They may. But this was where you can work full-time and then go to school part-time. Most of the classes were done online. However, the hands-on part, you had to go to a physical location to do that part.
Right.
For those who know me and for those who do not know me, I am what's called a professional procrastinator. I will wait till the very last minute to do any kind of project, any kind of studying, any kind of anything, just because I don't want to do it 9 times out of 10. So having that kind of personality going into a online school was not a good fit for me, and because of that, I failed out of PT school. I know. And let me tell y'all.
You know what? Show us your license. Did you?
Are
you able to work here in Florida?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Yes, I am. And let me tell you, I was so nervous in telling my parents that I failed out of PT school. 1, because I didn't want to disappoint them.
Right.
And 2, I wanted them to be able to, like, not brag to their friends, but like be proud of me, right? Yeah. And I think that was one of the hardest discussions that I had in my life, just letting them know. Because at first I wasn't going to tell anybody. I was just going to fake the funk. I was going to do my own kind of report card, but everything became digital at that moment. So I couldn't.
Do we really show our report cards to our parents?
Yeah, back in the day.
School?
No, well, not in. Well, if they helping you pay for it, yeah. They want to see. They want to see their investment. They want to see, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing?
Right.
So
you gonna make up a whole report.
I sure was. Look, because I'm afraid of my parents, and I don't care. I don't care how old I am. I'm still gonna be afraid of them, and it's just out of pure respect.
Right. Ultimately.
But having that conversation was very challenging. I had to take a 1.5 years off, and in that time frame, it was kind of a challenge for me because it put me in a space where I really had to sit down and think and evaluate. Is this something that I really want to do? Is this something that I really going to pursue? Because 1, I would have had to start all over because my credits from University of St. Augustine was not going to go to another graduate school, or if they did, it was only going to be maybe 1 or 2 classes. So I was going to have to start the process all over again. And I didn't have the money. We're going to talk about that.
Another episode.
Yeah, I didn't have the money to start all over. And then 2, I just already invested my time into the program at USA, and I just didn't want to start all over. It just it didn't feel good for me to start all over. But I took a 1.5 years off, and in that time I still worked So I was working two jobs at the time. I was still working, but I also got connected with the physical therapist at Brookdale Senior Living. And I volunteered. Like, I asked her questions. I went in and observed. I'm sorry about that. That was just my phone falling. Stay focused. Um, and because I wanted to be a physical therapist, I just didn't know the route that I was going to go.
Right.
So after that year and a half, I talked to my parents, and my mother was like, "What's the harm in asking them to see if you can get back into the program?" And then that's when your pride and your ego kicks in. Like, do you really want to go back groveling and asking somebody for a second chance? Right. For me, the answer was yeah. Didn't mind it at all. So I had an appointment with actually the president and the founder of University of St. Augustine, as well as the director of the program. And I had a meeting with them, and I pleaded my case. And long story short, they allowed me to come back into the program, but not in the flex part of it. So not the online portion of it, but the on campus portion of it, which was a life changer for me because
that's where she met me.
And you bullied me into being your best friend.
Cut that part out.
So that part.
We know I didn't bully anybody.
You did.
Continue on.
But that was the change of my life at that moment, and that's what catapulted me into being a physical therapist today and your better half of the dynamic duo. Your better half. I mean, like, we're not married or in a romantic relationship or anything, but I am your better half.
In the business
and friendship.
It's only two people.
Better half.
All right, so I'm moving on to my story. I did join the University of St. Augustine. We talked about it before. Where school came easy to me. Like, I never really had to study. I never had to focus on things that were not told to me until I got to grad school.
Let them know.
You have to learn every bone. You have to learn every muscle and what nerve innervates that muscle and what muscle attaches to what piece of that bone, right? The head bone doesn't attach to the arm bone, okay? The song is wrong. And we need to stop teaching these kids that, okay?
I like it, though.
There is no thigh bone. Okay, I got that one wrong on test too, because there is no thigh bone.
There is a thigh bone.
No, that's called a femur.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not called thigh bone.
Okay.
We're teaching these kids correctly from here on out.
Okay.
But I had to buckle down and actually study because the first test in human anatomy was like, what is that? Oh my goodness. I had never failed a test that mattered to me so easily. I feel like every answer, I could have just closed my eyes and would have got the same grade. Like, that's how hard it was for me. So I get all my highlighters out, my little sticky notes. I'm taking notes, and I'm like, this still doesn't make sense to me. And I had to figure out my way of getting through that process because grad school is no joke.
No.
When we're learning all of these things and we're trying to make it make sense, it was challenging for me, and it actually made me second guess this career that I love and I knew I probably would love since the age of 8, because I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not passing. Like, it took it killed my self-esteem.
Yep.
And it wasn't on my own that I got through the school. It's definitely got to give him all the glory, but he put me in a place where I can actually meet people that could help guide me through this process. People that were above me that had been through it, they got support from their upperclassmen. I got support, and that's what kind of guided me through. And even though we talk about you say I bullied you, when I found out that you were new on campus, I was able to give you the support that they gave me.
Yeah.
And that's how
which was needed.
That's how you really passed. It wasn't because you buckled down. It's because of me. I helped her pass.
I was on a thin leash. They said if I failed one more class, I was done.
Yeah.
And there was no turning back.
Right.
So yes, you did help. And
right.
I think that was really, not only did we build a community of friendship, but we also made sure that we didn't leave each other behind.
Right.
And that was very important in making and actually just being done or finishing out the program.
Right.
Because our school at that time, we had a really good reputation.
Yes.
And it was a strenuous program, and they purposely made the first semester extremely hard.
Right.
So you can actually fail out. Right. Those who really didn't want it was just easy to shift them out.
Right.
And then cultivate those who actually wanted it and was able to move forward in the program. So first semester was a killer.
That is when I first heard C's makes degrees. Right? And then in my mind, I'm like, no. A C is, when I was growing up, was not good at all. Mm-hmm. Right? Like you passed the class with a C, but my parents weren't having it. Mm-hmm. So when I'm getting a C in a class and you're super excited because you get to go to the next phase, like I was, man, give me a C all day long.
Give me that 70.
Right.
Real quick.
All right. So how many points do I need on this final exam to make a 70? Okay.
Exactly.
Like bare minimum. Not because I wasn't smart enough or not because I wasn't grasping the information. Me applying it was totally different from me reading it and understanding it. And once I got through, I would say probably second semester with anatomy and biomechanics, that's when it all made sense. And I was able to not strive for that C, but it actually made me engage myself a little bit more to get those B's and those A's in those other classes. Because now what I struggled in made so much more sense because it was stuck there. It didn't go in one ear and out the other.
But also, too, not having that pressure put on you by you, right? Mm-hmm. So knowing that, okay, all I need is a 70 to pass this class. That takes the pressure off of you and allows you to be able to enjoy yourself going through that class or having study groups or things of that nature. Because for me, I have a problem with anxiety and with worrying and with stress. And when that clouds my mental, then it's hard for me to focus on what's happening right now. Mm-hmm. I'm always focusing on the what ifs. What if I don't pass? What if I don't make a B? What if? And I can't retain the information. So having that, or when I think it was actually you or somebody told me that while we were in PT school, that just settled my spirit because I was like, okay, I can breathe and I could be able to.
Right, we have wiggle room.
Right, I could be able to. I'm able to do this. And so I just think that was a really good eye opener for me. Did I want a C? Absolutely not, because again, if you guys tuned into our previous episode, her fun fact was PTs have a type A personality. And with that comes a personality of wanting to be perfect. And having a C in my world was not perfect at all. So again, that was just a whole kind of a battle struggle for me in grad school. But I'm glad that, again, that was told to me, because then I was able to finish out the schooling entirely with not having the stress of, I need to make a B.
Right.
80%.
And I also, in high school and in undergrad, I understood the point of a GPA because I need a scholarship, right? Mm-hmm. I need to be at the top of my class because there's another step in this career, right? Yeah. When you're not done in undergrad, you have to further yourself. Mm-hmm. And you have to be competitive amongst the other applicants. Yep. So that is kind of what drove me in the beginning of grad school. But after, once you're in it, they're just looking to hire a PT. They don't care what your GPA was. They don't care what school you went to. They want to know, did you pass it? Did you take the national board? Did you pass that? Here's your job.
Absolutely. And also, going a step further, do you have anything against you on your license? They care about that. So if you didn't have anything against you on your license, you passed the boards, and you graduated from an accredited school, then you got the job. Absolutely. So it didn't matter what school you went to when it came to being a physical therapist, occupational therapist, or even a speech therapist.
Right. And I think that allows us to be able to take the information we have and spread it. And one of the greatest things I think for us is that we were able to travel. Mm-hmm. So Dr. Tyre and I have the same mindset. We went to the same school. They programmed us the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were able to travel, we got out to see what other people's thought process were. Because here in Florida, we're the top of the top. We're parasites.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Stanley Paris, one of the founders in physical therapy, mm-hmm. he helped train us. Mm-hmm. So we have this mentality of manual work, mm-hmm. manual hands-on. We have a different mindset than other people. Mm-hmm. And so we were able to see what their schooling was like and how they applied it. When we apply ours, I feel like we're top notch.
Yeah.
No bias here. But I feel like we were able to have a step above because we went a little bit deeper. Mm-hmm. So our therapy mindset is different from other people, but nobody is wrong.
Right.
It's just our different schooling.
But we were able to learn from them too.
Absolutely.
So we were able to get the things that we were like, oh, that's interesting. We didn't really dive deep into that in our schooling. So I'm going to go ahead and learn from you and take this and put this in my toolbox. And then on the flip side, if there was something that we didn't like, mm-hmm. then we're not going to take that and we're going to just push that to the side. And I think one of the things that made us different, because I can only speak for me, but also you, because you're my best friend, because you bullied me into being that. Right. But
bullying
have a
is not accept anti-bullying.
Yes. Okay. Unless it's coming from a good place, out of love
or adventure.
Oh, these near-death experiences. We're going to talk to them about that on another season or another episode. But I think it's safe to say and let our listeners know that the reason why we got into therapy is mm-hmm. that we have a heart for people.
Correct.
And having a heart for people is seeing their suffering and seeing what can we do to take that suffering away from you. Now, no, we're not God. And so we can't change anything, but what we can do is
support.
Right. Support and help you try to be the best you physically and cognitively, version of you.
And I think in our clinic, we go the whole nine, mental, emotional, whatever we can do to break that barrier that's preventing you from getting to where you want to be.
Absolutely.
So I agree with you 100% about your heart, because the amount of schooling and stress and extra duties that we have as a therapist mm-hmm. does not add up to the amount you hope to take home, mm-hmm. especially if you're in a very competitive area, right? If you're out in a rural area, you can make whatever you want. But in a competitive area, in a city area where there's a lot of schools and new grads coming out, you're definitely not going to make what you want to make.
Absolutely.
So your heart has to be there, because times get really rough.
It does. And I think that's a good segue, because on our upcoming show, we are going to talk about student loans, how much it costs to be in school and get through that schooling, and then how much you can potentially make soon as you graduate and be a new therapist, because like you said, it's not comparable. So you have to have a heart for people first, because this is something that is a rewarding career, but it's not as lucrative, if you will, as you would think so. So going into our fun fact, I was about to go into I was leading into our fun fact. Like I wanted like a little jingle there.
Okay.
But I was going to go back to my other thing, because I like that song. Don't worry.
We do not own the rights to this music.
Be happy.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, fun fact. Do you know when physical therapy was said to have started?
No, let me know.
You don't know?
They taught us in school in foundations as far as like, you should know this.
But that was so long ago for
you. It was.
So I'm sure you can't remember.
You're right.
So it was roughly like 435 BC, and the person that they have linked that to is actually Hippocrates. Interesting, right?
It is.
But guess when OT was kind of brought about?
I would say 1813.
That's very nice of you. Actually, no, 1917.
1917.
So such a huge span in there, and I think that's probably why PT actually gets kind of like, I'm a superior to OT. But no, it's not that. It's a comparable sister to PT.
Absolutely.
So OT,
Dang, I didn't know y'all came on the scene. I mean, we were already,
like yesterday.
It was, because PTs, we were already ruling the world at that time.
Right. And so then the OTs had to come in and show them what's really popular. You get
Obviously not, because we still ruling the world.
Cap.
Okay, first of all,
I wanted to put that in there.
We are going to speak as though we were born in the 80s, okay? Because we both were, all right?
All right, Jet.
Okay. First of all, part of the reason is I have no idea what you're saying and what it means. So we're going to go back.
She's the ops.
What does that mean? School me.
They know.
School me, because if you're going to say something, like your mother said, if you're going to say a word, you better know the definition to it. So define ops.
You are the enemy.
That's what ops is?
Yeah. Opposition.
What?
I got to take you out.
See? And I rest my case. Her being a bully.
No.
You said I have to take you out. Did you not say that?
I said it, but I didn't mean it.
Okay.
The people know my heart now.
They know.
I have a heart for people.
Yeah.
That is why I'm double therapy.
Well, again, thank you for tuning in to another Dynamic Joint podcast session.
Right. We so appreciate you guys tuning in.
We do.
So make sure you like and subscribe.
Absolutely. And now it's time for me to take you out. I can't, so I got to make up my own
Just
thing.
go with it. I'll make sure.
Beatbox it. Beatbox. Make sure it's a beat. Stay on beat. Boom, boom.
You know, boom, I'm not 100% black.
Okay, do it again. Thank you for tuning in to a Dynamic Joint. Next time, we will take you to another point, because I don't know what to say.
All right.